afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We're reaching you live from Abuja. My name is Ronke Kolawole. A crucial meeting of the National Security Council has ended in the State House with far-reaching recommendations aimed at achieving sustainable peace and stability in the country ahead of the 2019 general elections. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari resolved to deploy adequate security agencies to the states towards ensuring peaceful and hitch-free conduct of the elections. Members noted with concern the attempt by some desperate personalities to put pressure on INEC through demonstrations brought under control by combined efforts of the security agencies. The meeting also discussed how to nip in the bud post-election violence, as well as stem the proliferation of weapons by disgruntled elements with a desire to take laws into their hands at the slightest opportunity. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris spoke to newsmen after the meeting.
On the challenges we have of security during elections, especially most of the elections have been conducted in most of the states of the Federation.
And we are still going to face another election in future. What guarantee are you going to give that the election?
Obviously, guarantees are, what I would say is that every Nigerian obviously should be committed to a free, fair, and credible election. And I think that's the main issue. Every Nigerian has that responsibility, and obviously I'm assuring Nigerians that we'll do our best to provide adequate security for these elections. Oh. Very, very free and fair election, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
And Nigerians are going to expect that at the general election?
Obviously, we are assuring Nigeria that we'll give them a very, very credible election.
President Buhari also met separately with the governors of Kebbi, Ekiti, and Akwa Ibom states behind closed doors. Meanwhile, President Buhari has promised never to turn a blind eye to acts of economic sabotage, warning that anyone who abuses public trust under his watch will be dealt with appropriately. The president stated this while playing host to Kannywood entertainers to a special dinner. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
2019 ba kuɗi ba sai dai a danne mu a yanka. Za mu dangwala maka da jininmu.
Without doubt, President Muhammadu Buhari enjoys tremendous support, solidarity, and goodwill from the various stakeholders in the Hausa film industry, otherwise referred to as Kannywood. Although the event was put together by the Nigerian leader to show appreciation for the entertainers, however, comprising musicians, producers, and actors, it is an opportunity to renew their allegiance to the change agenda.
We believe in his leadership. He is somebody that is committed to the development of this country.
We are here to show our support, 100% for his second tenure.
We have to support him because of good governance for Nigerian and Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari formally expressed gratitude to the Kannywood entertainers for their love and significant contributions to his political aspirations so far, saying he cannot thank them enough. He, however, promised to reciprocate by maintaining his upright disposition, as well as ensuring justice at all times and selflessness in service to the nation and humanity. He restated his unshakable resolve towards fighting corruption to a standstill, firmly securing Nigeria for effective management and massively diversifying the economy for job creation and sustainable future.
Ni dai ba zan ci amana ba kuma zan ga an ci amana ba in kyale zan yi aka kokari.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, described the engagement as significant.
In this room, there are people that reach out to over 10 million people. Some of them on their Instagram pages and Twitter handles. They talk to over 1 million people on a daily basis. So their outreach is quite extensive and elaborate. And they came to share their thoughts about the future of this country with the president, and to also commend the remarkable work that he's doing out there, and to assure him that they will fully support him. So it's a very, very important day for us.
The message from them is that they are with him 100%. And I assure you, it's not unusual.
During the event, the artists were promised by government of adequate protection of their intellectual property rights.
Most of the times when they cast films and when they sing songs, piracy takes over. and the benefits that ought to accrue to them ordinarily does not. And we've given them those assurances that we'll strengthen the institutions that are supposed to take care of protecting their copyrights and their proprietary rights.
The Kannywood stakeholders departed the State House with a promise to the Nigerian leader that as soon as campaigns for the 2019 election begin, they will individually and collectively stand to be counted. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Economic Council has approved the declaration of state of emergency on education by the various state governments in the country. Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu announced this while briefing journalists after the meeting of the council presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. This is said to ensure the application of multi-frontier approach towards tackling the various factors mitigating against the achievement of the national educational objective.
Federal government and state to allocate a minimum of 15% of the state budget or federal budget to education in order to revitalize that sector. To constitute special task force to manage funds and oversee the infrastructural overhaul of selected schools for intervention across the Federation.
More political interest groups are strategizing on how to further the interest of the nation towards re-election of Buhari for continuity and good governance. Usman Aliyu reports that one of these groups is Women for Buhari, which mobilizes more support for the Buhari 2019 presidency.
These are women of conviction and their dogged commitment towards bringing President Muhammadu Buhari back to office. Their commitment is ever frantic, almost desperate, to get anybody from any part of the country and beyond into their fold. To them, gender is not an issue. Using the name Women for Buhari is a depiction of their role in the Home Front, which is a platform for human existence and good citizenship. They say President Buhari is not only a symbol of good governance, but harbinger of glad tidings for better Nigeria and rekindling national values and ethics.
We are rooted, the mobilization is there, and we are sure of giving the president a minimum of 100 votes per polling unit.
The Women for Buhari Vanguard has attractions that cut across various strata in the society. Here, it is the sports world that is attracted to it. A former president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Sani Abdullahi Lulu, has been enlisted just like many from various walks of life.
I'm proud I'm joining this woman to say I am part of those who truly believe in the competency and ability of Mr. President.
The group has links across 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the chairman of Leadership Group and publisher of leadership newspapers, Mr. Sam Nda Isaiah, on the conferment of a chieftaincy title, Are Baronyi of Akure Kingdom, by Oba Alade Tonyibo Ogunlade Aladelusi, Oduno II. A statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, noted that Nda Isaiah's foray into journalism, in spite of a background in pharmacy, was divinely ordained to serve the country with strength in writing, deep thinking, and philosophical outlook on life. President Buhari also commended Oba Aladelusi and his kinsmen for selecting the publisher, which was obviously inspired by his contribution to the media industry, business world, and support for the underprivileged. He stated that the recognition would encourage Nda Isaiah to serve the nation and humanity better. Domestic and sexual violence take center stage in Lagos. Let's join Jennifer for details of this and other stories making the rounds in that zone. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Lagos. Domestic and sexual violence response team says it is fine-tuning the various modalities aimed at curbing incidences of domestic and sexual violence in the state. Abolore Ogbara, who attended the one-day roundtable meeting at the instance of the team, in collaboration with some non-government organizations, reports that factors militating against the protection of the rights of children were brought to the fore.
By the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team revealed that 1 in 4 children are abused either physically, emotionally, verbally, or sexually before the age of 18. The team at a roundtable also disclosed that no fewer than 3,089 cases of sexual and domestic violence were reported between January and September in the state.
When people are in courtship, they should always look out for the signs. Some quick signs can be quick involvement. Somebody that doesn't want to court for too long, wants to quickly get married. That may be an indication that the person doesn't want to reveal his or her true identity. That is a sign.
Participants were also enlightened on the role the community should play in curbing the menace and critical implications of attempts to cover up domestic violence-related offenses.
The greatest thing that fuels abuse is silence. It is until you speak out, that's where you can get help.
If more people are not, made to pay for the crime of domestic violence, it will continue.
It's in our interest to bring up humane children. It's not about patriarchy, it's not about feminism, it's about humanity.
It will be recalled that the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, proposed a jail term of 25 years for rapists and perpetrators of all forms of domestic violence as part of aggressive steps towards eradicating the menace. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NT News.
Now, ensuring qualitative education in the grassroots to address the issue of poverty was the thrust of the workshop organized by a non-governmental organization in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has details.
The event held at Igbobi College, Yaba, afforded the students the opportunity to get acquainted with some of the new trends in learning. The founder of the Children, Youth and Women Empowerment Initiative, Tokunbo Ifaturoti, says the program is part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals aimed at eradicating poverty by 2030.
In order for us to eradicate this drug problem that we have, no poverty, health, well-being, it starts at this level. We need the people at the top also to speak to the people and we need the people at the bottom's voices also to be heard.
Is to assist the schools and the children to develop education in Nigeria.
The event featured debate that argued the advantages and disadvantages of social media as a means of communication in secondary school education.
It gets us more involved in books. And books, even no matter the type, has information.
The main problem in Nigeria is not the government, it is mostly the children. Because another says children are the future leaders. So repositioning children and giving them advice will be the best thing to do.
And I want to believe that these children have learned, they have seen ways, they have preferred solutions themselves on how to eradicate poverty, how to be useful in the society.
Organizers revealed that similar programs were held in other parts of the country, particularly in the northeastern axis of Nigeria. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to tackling challenges of food security in the country. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, stated this at the celebration of the World Food Day in Lagos. Imoleayo Tukede has details.
For this year's World Food Day is Action Our Future. A zero hunger world by 2030 is possible. The event, which is aimed at tackling hunger and advancing food security, is also to encourage agricultural food production in the country. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development was represented by the Southwest Regional Director.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has over the years embarked the culture of promoting best practices in agricultural development through improving access of farmers to inputs and credit facilities in rural areas.
To commemorate the day in Lagos, the convener said the event is meant to increase awareness and the crucial need for effective agriculture and food policies to ensure sufficient food availability.
Particularly with women,
that their voices should be amplified, that they can do much more than they are doing right now.
Stakeholders at the forum emphasized that for effective eradication of hunger in the society, concrete and deliberate steps must be taken individually and collectively.
The windows are open right now, or rather the platforms are open right now, to ensure that for as many of us that have products, food products, agri products, that can be packaged and that can be presented.
Hope for Life initiative, established in 2012, is aimed at equipping children and empowering widows who suffer from untold hardship to be self-reliant and productive in the society. In Lagos, Molly Ayotokide, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Others are. Back to Ronke in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Jennifer. President Muhammadu Buhari says with or without international cooperation, the federal government is irrevocably committed to addressing the environmental problems adversely impacting livelihood in the Niger Delta region. This was while receiving the executive members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, who called on him. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari noted with concern that due to the worrisome environmental situation in the Niger Delta, farmers and fishermen in particular have seen their means of livelihood destroyed.
Our assessments have shown it will take decades to reverse this damage. But we have made a start to clean up our degraded areas, beginning with Ogoni. With or without international cooperation.
Describing climate change and environmental challenges as major threats to national peace and prosperity, the president challenged the chartered accountants to ensure that their clients in both public and private sectors prioritize environmental sustainability in their operations. President Buhari thanked ICANN for continuously supporting and guiding his administration in public finance management and governance practices.
In the past 3 years, this administration has worked hard to enhance the transparency and efficiency of public sector financing through the Treasury single account. We have also introduced policies that are improving the business environment. We have implemented projects that enable young entrepreneurs. We will also continue to review obsolete laws that are hindering growth in many sectors. Rest assured that we will continue to partner with prestigious institutions like ICANN for the development of this nation.
The president of ICANN, Razak Jayola, said as key stakeholders in Nigeria project, chartered accountants are delighted over the significant progress made by the Buhari administration in the implementation of the Treasury single account and promised continued support of the initiative as well as the economic recovery and growth plan in the best interests of the country.
Accounting is the language of business, and as business transactions grow, they are piloted with technology. It is in consideration of this fact that the Institute wish to make recommendation that we establish the Office of ICT General of the Federation at the federal level, and for each state to have it so that we can deploy giant strides in the area of technology.
Mr. Jayola, however, warned against the proliferation of accountancy bodies in the country, saying ICANN and ANAN have adequately catered for all aspects of accountancy profession.
To create other associated bodies is to trivialize professionalism. This is not in the public interest. Sir, we implore you not to assent to any bill that seeks to balkanize the accountancy profession.
President Buhari received from the ICANN president resolutions of the 48th Annual Accountants Conference themed Securing Our Shared Future, a Collective Responsibility, which he promised will be studied by the economic management team for possible implementation. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Let's talk security now. Officers and personnel of the Nigerian Army have been commended for their invaluable contributions and selfless sacrifice towards defending the nation's democracy and keeping the country united in the face of insurgency. A statement from the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Texas Chukwu, says the National Coordinator of Non-Violent Peace Initiative, Ambassador Mohammed Salmon, gave the commendation when he visited the General Officer commanding 7th Division, Brigadier General Bulama Biu. The ambassador commended the activities. The ambassadors condemned the activities of insurgents as he commended the efforts of the Nigerian army in degrading the terrorists. He also applauded the army for the establishment of human rights desk in all army formations to checkmate violations of citizens' rights. The GOC, Brigadier General Bulama Biu, promised to sustain the temple as he assured Nigerians of the Army's readiness to partner with organizations to tackle terrorism in the country. And still talking security, the Nigeria Police Force has dismissed Oche Ella of Benue Command for involvement in criminal activities. The dismissed officer, who was among 3 criminals paraded in Abuja, was found guilty of selling Beretta pistol to criminals. The Deputy Force Public Relations Officer, Arema Adeniro, said the other suspects are accused of the killing of Rashidat Jimo in July last year, assassination, armed robbery, and other criminal activities.
All the suspects made conventional statements to the police investigation team and have confessed and admitted to the various criminal roles they played by the killing of Mrs. Rashidat Jimo in cold blood.
Items recovered from the suspect include 1 Beretta pistol and 19 rounds of live ammunition. The force says efforts are intensified to arrest other suspects at large. The Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has commended former Niger Delta militants for their decision to work for the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 general election. In a statement, the organization hailed the decision of the ex-militants to support Buhari's second-term bid based on his effort at deepening peace and stability in the Niger Delta region by initiating meaningful capital development through the Presidential Amnesty Program. While commending the ex-militant stance, Buhari Media Organization, through its chairman, Niyi Akinshiju, said it is a confirmation of Buhari's disposition to meaningful life-changing projects in the country's oil-producing region. The Buhari Media Organization, however, urged the ex-militants not to waver in their determination to work for the president's victory in the region, which the People's Democratic Party considers a stronghold, in spite of not doing much for it in 16 years. Away from that, a 3-day workshop on implementation of legislation on chemical and biological weapons in ECOWAS country has ended with a mandate to strengthen trans-border network to curtail chemical weapons in the wrong hands of non-state actors. The chairman of the Chemical Weapon Convention and permanent secretary in the office of the secretary to the government of the Federation, Gabriel Aduda, emphasized the importance for networking of security agencies in the neighboring countries based on the porous borders. He noted that even though chemicals are used for economic purposes, efforts to ensure good laws are put in place to checkmate wrong possession of chemical weapons. Nigeria, is said, is at the verge of passing its bill on chemical and biological weapon prohibition.
Region will look at all other blocks within Africa, the SADC, name them. We'll go through them one after the other. The beauty of this is to ensure that each nation has in place a legislation that is able to foster and to push for the prevention of any form of terrorism, especially chemical terrorism in this case. And one of the ways that we will achieve that is by having in place the requisite legislation that criminalizes both within and outside our borders these use of toxic chemicals for the wrongful, use of toxic chemicals for wrong purposes. Yet,
Again, I represent the response community, and so as partners, as African partners, what we ask is that there is a strong commitment on the part of the host nation when we provide or help with training and equipment use. We do expect that our partner nations are committed to the long-term security of their nation.
Africa, because you know, today with all those terrorism issues around our countries, the threat of chemical terrorism is a real issue, and we'll have to take it very, very seriously, as all the experts said, because it will be very dangerous if chemical substance or products are in hands of terrorists. So we need to have national legislation in line with the Convention of the Prohibition of the Use of Chemical Weapons.
The workshop was the first of its kind in Africa. Borno State Government awards scholarship to winners of Quranic recitation competition. Let's join Naomi for details of this from that zone.
And welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State Government has awarded scholarship to winners of this year's Quranic recitation competition held in Katsina State. Governor Kashim Shettima announced this when he received the winners, accompanied by members of the Borno State Committee of Quranic Recitation, led by Chief Imam of Borno, Imam Lesu Ibrahim Ahmed, at the Government House, Maiduguri. Muhammad Goni reports.
Beneficiaries of the scholarship award include Al-Bashir Gwani Usman, who emerged winner at last year's Kwara State Quran recitation competition and the second in the international competition in Saudi Arabia, and was awarded 100,000 Saudi Riyal, equivalent to 10 million naira. Amina Ali Mohammed, the overall winner of the female pest category in Katsina State, who won GM motor worth about 5 million naira and a cash prize of 500,000 naira by Katsina State government. Others include Saleh Abubakar Saleh, first in male fourth category, who won a Honda Hyundai car worth 3,600,000 naira and awarded 500,000 naira. Idris Abubakar Mohammed, second in the third category, and Aisha Hamidu, fourth in the second category. The remaining participants were given 50,000 naira each as consolation prizes. Governor Kashim Shettima, who applauded the participants, directed award of scholarship to all the winners and 100,000 naira as consolation prize for the other 6 participants.
If we support them with scholarship, than giving them money. We can give them the money and get them off our back, but it will not solve our problem. Oh, yes.
The governor appreciated the State Quran Recitation Committee for their efforts and assured continued support, and further informed the committee that state government will reconstruct all the abandoned Al-Majri schools in all the senatorial zones in the state. Chief Imam of Borno, Imam Lesu Ibrahim Ahmed, and the secretary of this committee, Sheikh Tijani Umara, appreciated Governor Kashim Shettima for his support to the education sector and prayed for Allah's guidance and protection. Permanent Secretary and the Minister of Education, Mohamed Abacha, said 10 participants were selected to represent the state in the male and female categories. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations says it is supporting global effort towards achieving zero hunger at international, regional, and national levels by advancing data for evidence-based decision-making. This came to the fore during one of its activities set aside to commemorate World Food Day in Maiduguri. Yagun Subakar completes the report.
With the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, a zero hunger world by 2030 is possible. The day aims to remind stakeholders of the need to strengthen political commitment and partnership towards eradicating hunger and all forms of malnutrition around the world. Head of Office, Food and Agriculture Organization in Northeast Nigeria, Nuru Makital, said the FAO is making frantic efforts towards eradicating extreme hunger and poverty, especially in areas worst affected by conflict, hence building support around the vision of achieving zero tolerance of hunger.
First and foremost, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Resource Development and Rural Development. We have the World Food Program, FAO, IATA, so in the private sector. So all of us, we are putting our hands together to achieve the Zero Hunger Challenge in Nigeria. The leadership of His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State. So it's something very important when it comes to fighting malnutrition, to increase the productivity.
The FAO, he added, would not relent in contributing its quota towards the sustenance of food sufficiency globally, contributing Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, Jordan Kakemu, Hassan Ali, and Clara Tateng called for a holistic approach in responding to the major causes of hunger and malnutrition, among other related issues. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. It's back to Ronke in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Naomi. You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. More to come after this break. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria, junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
This is my first experience riding this train. I've heard about it so much all around the city.
Actually, I'm surprised that such a development is coming to us.
I was impressed, so neat, and actually you can compare with any type of train, all over the world.
I could not imagine that I'll be going from Edo straight to the airport by train.
And the environment is so clean and the ACs are cool.
I want to commend federal government for the initiative to provide these train services.
And I wish to laud the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in seeing that this project is a reality.
Please get ready to alight on the right side of the train. Thank you.
Can you ride? First Entertainment Ideas Concept, in conjunction with National Commission for Museum and Monuments, presents Latin American Motorcycle Association Rediscover Nigeria Tour, touring Nigerian Museum and Heritage Sites in 13 states and 13 days from the 23rd of October 2018. Chief host, Honorable Minister for Information, Arts and Culture, Lai Mohammed. For sponsorship details, call Ernest on 090-3456-4388, Godwin 080-3701-5237, Uzoma 080-2980-0549, Selong 080-3225-0153, Umar 080-9440-9719. Lama, touring to rediscover.
Glad you're still watching Nationwide on NTA Network. With the successful achievement being recorded in crop production, agriculturists are advocating a sustainable policy that will strengthen input supply, especially fertilizer, in the country. This was the central issue of discussion at a roundtable dialogue on achieving zero hunger to mark this year's World Food Day. Fatima Aliyu reports.
Statistics by the Food and Agriculture Organization shows that in 2017 alone, more than 815 million people across the world suffered chronic malnutrition and hunger due to conflicts, global warming, and downward in economic trend. This roundtable discussion tagged Our Action, Our Future, which drew participants from both public, private and international organizations, highlights the role of improved seeds and quality fertilizer in achieving zero hunger.
Fertilizer quality control bill. We're also praying, Mr. President, to assent the bill as quickly as possible, because the more we don't have a law that protects farmers, we expose them to all manner of fertilizers. When you give a farmer an adulterated fertilizer, you reduce his production and even spoil the soils.
We have learned a lot by knowing the shortcomings and what we need to improve the production of maize in the country.
Most important thing today that I have really picked was about good seedlings, which without it, your products cannot come out nice.
Hungry man will do anything to feed himself. If you want a peaceful world, it's important that all of us focus on zero hunger.
Convener of the forum, Philip Musa, said the battle against hunger and malnutrition is again receiving global attention after its steady rise is threatening to turn back decades of achievements so far made. Participants at this forum are advocating redoubled efforts towards achieving the globally agreed goal of zero hunger, as spelled out in Agenda 2030, noting that taking action is not an option, but necessary step to a timely, sustainable future for all. In Abuja, Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
And now to environmental issues. The current template on direct distribution of relief materials to victims of flood disasters across the country has been described as a steady tool for transparency and equality. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the new template involves 3 stages of enumeration, issuance of access control cards, and the actual distribution.
Records show that distribution of relief materials to the actual beneficiaries of flood disasters has been a Herculean task, as in most cases, victims cry foul after the exercise. This is due to diversion and racketeering by some elements in the distribution chain. The Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Mehadja, introduced a new template that now sees to the door-to-door distribution of relief materials to the actual victims. With the creeks and other difficult terrain in Bayelsa and River States, this may seem as a difficult thing to do, but in carrying out the DG's directive, NEMA officials have doggedly penetrated all the affected creeks for the direct distribution.
In the past, so these things don't get to them. So there's a paradigm shift from what used to happen in the past to the new, to the basket approach, and which entails that households are being given certain kg of items for a particular number of days.
The IDPs say this is the first time they are witnessing this transparent distribution and appeal to NEMA to sustain the templates. NTA News observes that the direct distribution has brought smiles and happiness to the victims. From Ibiama, Ahuda West, local government area of River State, Ilyasu Aliyaku, NTA News.
Ibadan is our next stop on Nationwide with Kemi as our guide. It's over to you, Kemi.
Thank you, Ronke, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. In a bid to maintain solid foundation in basic education for better future of its citizenry, Governor Abiola Ajimobi met with a delegation of Universal Basic Education Commission in his office to map out required strategy. Adibola Ogulano has details.
Governor Abiola Jimobi was represented by his deputy, Moses Adeyemo, said his administration will continue to evolve measures towards sustaining the solid foundation in education sector. He emphasized the importance of solid foundation in educational development, adding that the future of the children starts from the basics.
By taking, the book by the book, to go around all schools, to make sure that we get the relevant thing, the number of teachers, the number of students, the building, and whatever materials the students are going to the pupils are going to use. If you have the information, I think every state, will improve the educational sector.
Responding, the chairman, Universal Basic Education Commission, Mahmoud Abubakar, said the commission is ready to support the states achieving its goals. He said the delegates were in Ibadan for a data collection to assess the performance of Universal Basic Education Commission in the states. The commission, however, commended the state government for regularly fulfilling its obligations in payments of counterpart funds to the commission in Ibadan. Adebola Ogunlano, NTA News.
Wife of Ogun State Governor Olufunso Amosun has called on public-spirited Nigerians to always assist the poor in the society so as to make life more meaningful for them. Mrs. Amosun made the call in Abeokuta while distributing food items to 5,000 people through her Uplift Food Outreach Program. Correspondent Kemi Onusholu Sikiru reports.
The wife of the Ogun State Governor Olufunso Amosun distributing food items and cash to the aged, pregnant women and traders who are underprivileged through our project Uplift Development Foundation. Mrs. Amosun explained that our commitment to alleviating the sufferings of the underprivileged in the society will continue beyond the office until many more Nigerians can rise above poverty level.
We know it's impossible to eradicate poverty from this little effort, and this is why we're out here today.
The beneficiaries in their numbers could not hide their feelings as they received the food items from their benefactor.
It's been very, very, very good in the life of the people.
One we want to advise the well-to-do people in our societies, instead of stocking their billions of naira inside graves, inside toilets, they should embark on this type of program.
In Abeokuta, Kemi Onusholu Sikiru, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Ronke in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. Nigeria has raised concerns over the reported ill treatment of its citizens who are suspected of migrating irregularly to Algeria, arising from the recent visit of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyeama, to Algeria. More investigation is to be carried out over the matter. Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
Irregular migration is a global phenomenon, and Nigeria is not isolated from this challenge as some of its citizens get caught up in various parts of the world. While in Algiers for the Nigeria-Algeria Binational Commission, Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyeama met with senior officials of the Algerian government where he raised Nigeria's concerns over reported ill treatment of irregular Nigerian migrants to that country.
It's a parallel discussion, actually, which is not front and center of the Joint Commission agenda per se, but it's, of course, a very important issue. And there are issues about the manner or in which they are being deported from Algeria, raising some concerns on our side.
Issues of irregular migrant, as far as Nigerians are concerned, should be handled by Nigerian embassy rather than taking a unilateral decision along with other nationals to take them out. I think we try to understand with the Algerian authority that they should liaise with the embassy, and the embassy, of course, will readily bring in the National Emergency Management Agency where repatriation is required. We repatriate them.
The officials hope that these concerns will be addressed quickly in the spirit of the warm relations between Nigeria and Algeria, which is being consolidated through the Binational Commission. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition in Dubai has come to a close, with 2 Nigerian innovations reaching the semi-finals of the GTEx Future Star competitions. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that innovations were adjudged as having global appeal.
The Gulf Information Technology Exhibition Future Stars competition is where the world's most imaginative ideas that have translated to new technologies are displayed and become business realities. This year, more than 140 countries participated, with Nigeria showcasing startup technologies of 6 young people who beat 400 others from the nation's geopolitical zones.
We try to give them funding in terms of seed funding, where at the basic level they can be able to build up their startup. We also give them technical trainings.
Their innovations range from energy-saving applications to an online platform where students can secure accommodation off campus and wireless charging powering device that can be built into the furniture. Well, an artificial intelligence technology, the drone-propelled ambulances that can deliver blood to hospitals within 15 minutes, and motorcycle online booking application scaled through to the semi-finals.
We operate a drone delivery service, and our goal is to prevent the 1.6 million deaths from lack of timely access in Africa. This is in line with the SDG goal number 3.
Mobile app that allows users to stop rides and get the motorcycle taxi driver that comes to their location to pick them.
For 3 years now, Nigeria has been part of the competition, with a startup winning second position 2 years ago. But it's not just the grand prize that is the take-home here. Some startups get partnership deals and buy-ups from investors. This young group has earned an opportunity to be at the Social Good Summit in Geneva. With GITEX 2018 coming to an end, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, says all is looking well for Nigeria's information and communication technology.
The way foreign investors are willing to invest in what we brought here, I'm highly impressed.
The nation also received an award of achievement for contributions to modern technology. From Dubai, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
And back in Nigeria, the Nigerian Union of Journalists is set to address issues of quackery and other unprofessional conducts in the profession. President of the union, Chris Isiguzo, told NTA News that the time has come to reposition the profession by addressing challenges confronting members, particularly welfare and unpaid salaries.
New media salary structure. We are going to reactivate it and get in touch with stakeholders that are required to be part of this discussion, so that we get something that at least appreciably addresses the contributions that practitioners make. There's a need for us to convene a national stakeholder summit where stakeholders will gather and we discuss issues that revolve around getting the media properly stabilized.
The NUJ president also spoke on the debt profile of the union.
We just came on board. The first thing I received when they handed over to me was a debt profile of 23.3 million.
NUJ under the present leadership is also expected to enjoy capacity building for members and the protection of rights of journalists. Another break beckons now. We'll be back shortly.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria, junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country.
And talking sports now, Team Nigeria set to return after 2018 Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires as enthusiasts advocates improved structures for Nigerian football leagues. Ayodeji Makinde brings us more on Sports Update.
Team Nigeria finished 48th on the medal table